So here we are now, folks. I want to welcome you guys in here. Once again, 11:30 Eastern Time. My name is Joseph. Thanks for sticking around today. We are just about to clean up some more profit here this morning. Boy, what a great day we've had today. I want to thank you all for sticking around with me this morning. If you're still hanging out with me here on a Thursday of OPEX, we are in our third big fast track winner right now. We just finished a huge winner on both the Russell and the Crude. As you can see here, took almost 80 ticks out of the Russell, 42 ticks out of Crude, 15 ticks out of the Russell, and we're about to finish up this final trade right now. All of these trades today have been called live in real time. I gave you guys the exact entries, the exact stops, and the exact targets, as you can see right here. Was a great example on the Russell because we began this morning a nice big healthy wedge on the Russell. Dollar up at the highs. We anticipated the dollar would fall. Remember that this morning? Okay, the dollar we anticipated would fall this morning. And when the dollar fell, we knew right away we'll get a chance to buy these lows on the Russell. We took profit all the way up at the highs. We then watched to see if the buyers were going to keep pushing it. They didn't. They fail, and now here we are going short here. This was perfect today because of a very simple clue we got from the dollar. The dollar was the big clue today, right? The dollar was the big clue. Let me keep that trade management chart up here. Look at that, guys. Look at that. This is another 50-tick runner here. This is going to be another 50-tick runner on this Russell again. These trades were called well in advance today. Plenty of time to get in with them. I gave you guys the exact entry, the stop, and the target for these fast tracks. Now, would it be a bad idea to move your stop down? Not at all. 804. 804 is my stop now. 804 my stop. I'm locking up some profit here. 804 is my stop. What's happening is it's bouncing right now. It is bouncing off of your 55 range trigger line. Now, I don't think it's going to bounce that much because it's a flat trigger. So don't get out of this trade too early here. Hold on to it. It's a flat trigger line. We're going to keep going lower here. We're going to keep going lower, but it's going to bounce a little bit off it. Okay, I've got 800 even as my final target. In fact, I'm going to say 800.5. That's a swing low. There's a swing low right there, 800.5. Now, I'm going to come back to the Russell here. So we've got right now on the Russell a plus 12 and a plus 15 in this trade so far. We're looking to take a plus 50 on this thing, going from 805 all the way down to 800. Now, real quick, the reason why we were so excited about this result today is because this all came together so nicely this morning. Here's my dollar chart. And on the dollar, we began our day up at the highs of this wedge. And again, hindsight is 20/20, but this is something we talked about first thing this morning. Okay, we talked about this the first thing this morning. Do you remember this chart? Let's go back to our morning prep. Okay, hit the home key here, and why don't we go back and look at that dollar morning prep? And let's see what the dollar here told us. There's the Crude, there's the dollar. Here was the chart we got at 7:30 this morning. Here's my dollar chart at 7:30 this morning. And what did we see? It was a price wedge. Okay? And then the big clue here was the trading range. Now, don't take my word for it, guys and gals. Go to my blog. While you're on the blog, make sure you follow the blog because we don't send this stuff out to our newsletter every time. So right off the bat, we see the dollar is right here. Where's that dollar? Dollar is right there. It was just above the wedge highs. And do you recall what we said this morning? At 7:30 this morning, we said, guys, this is a wedge. You know what that means, right? that means there's a high likelihood this price will try to go higher, it'll fail, and come all the way back down. Remember that? Well, that's fine and dandy. And if I was a guru on CNBC, that's all I have to say. For some reason, there's plenty of people online these days getting paid millions of dollars on television just to say what should happen. But what they don't do is tell you how to make money from it. Okay, how about that, Mr. Guru on CNBC? How do I profit from your expert analyses? Good question. So we think the dollar is going to fall. And do you remember what I said next this morning? Don't just sit there, anticipate. Now that we think that dollar is going to fall, what would the next trade be? That's where we make our money. This is where we make our money. Now they go over to crude. Jump over to crude here for me. We go over to crude and we notice the same thing on crude.